Hello, this is Dr. Wendy Rowley, and we are doing the series How to Engage with Your Spiritual Guides. This is the third episode, and it is titled, Why Does the Creator Have This Guide System? Why does the Creator have this guide system? And from my perspective, it's so these guides can heal a layer that we can't get at. But let's see what else is behind this. Okay, I'm going to get out of the way and let's see what Aliani has to say. I don't really have anything to share on this one, so here we go. Oh, good day to you, dearest beings of light. This is Aliani of Cosmic Service, a Palladian Mother of Sound. Peace be with you, peace be with you, and peace be with you. All right. So she gave the first reason, so that you may heal things at your spiritual anatomy, interim spirit body, that you cannot get at yourself. And there's a period where they are very helpful. And it can go on for people for anywhere from 2 years to 7 years, using those guides, depending upon what they're doing. And then they're kind of done. They kind of get at what they can get at. And in the old system, in the old energy, up until 2027, you could use them over and over and over and get different guides, and they could keep going. And mainly what they're doing is at that point is they're clearing the resonance you have with other people. But it's not a real deep, true healing like the beginning of the work you had when you worked with them. So what changes in 2027? And why does this system exist to begin with? Why was this brought in by the higher creational beings, the angels, the archangels, and the divine intelligence of the Creator? Why does this system exist? It exists so that humans have an added layer on the other side of the veil, not just to heal in, but to be able to communicate with the Creator in. Now, what does that mean? That means that once you're a guide of soul in your own soul's journey, so let's say this one passed away, part of her soul said, you know what, she's going to incarnate, she's going to still be a woman, she's going to do that. She's chosen what she wants to work on in her conscious awareness, in her higher self, and I've put in my input, but she could really get a lot out of being a guide of soul for someone. So I'm taking part of my soul force, and I'm going to put it in the pool of souls which serves Supreme Being's will and healing. And then, eventually, the soul withdraws that energy. So the soul actually determines that. And the reason the soul does that is because, one, it's experiential. Two, it opens up the familiarity that this exists. So when you're in a human body and this idea is brought forward to you by a spiritual teacher, it doesn't feel unfamiliar. Three, it engages the soul's forces in an interim level where the soul can have more presence. In other words, it engages the spiritual, physical and spiritual and creational senses of the soul in another dimension. And that dimension, where these souls are, is very related to the death bardo. We've said a long time ago that the death bardo, or end of life bardo, don't let the word death light you up, the end of incarnation bardo, everyone does it. It's the one thing you have in common, being born and passing away, and being born and passing away. Should you believe in the reincarnation system? And we're going to come out boldly right now and tell you why this one believes it. In her meditation with that first spiritual teacher that she mentioned in the beginning of this course in her 20s, she immediately, without knowing it, asked for validation of her spiritual nature. This teacher would do some basic stuff, but in the second part, and she would just repeat the same thing. Here's part one, part two. You do the same exercises, but you would grow as you kept doing these. More spiritual presences brought into these areas of your spiritual nature by repetition. In the second part, she would actually have them do a past life view. And in one of those past life viewpoints, her screen filled up with a picture, excuse me, of the kind of like the Crusade period. And she saw herself on a hill in armor, and she knew she had lost all her sons in the Crusades down in the Middle East. And she took her sword and she raised it up to the Creator and said, I will never go to war again. And she took that sword, turned it down, and put it into the earth and made a vow. And she knows that vow is there because she feels it very strongly. She ever said she was very young for the Vietnam War, but she said, if I was a boy, I know I'd have to defect to Canada. And she had no idea where that was coming from. It's coming from that vow. So in that experience, she suddenly had a very physical experience. From the top of her head down, all the way through her feet, she suddenly felt the physical reality of feeling chainmail armor on her body. And that made her go, whoa, how could that possibly happen? So the soul will give you the validations you need when you ask for them. And you create your spiritual validations. And we say this over and over. So we just wanted to share that. Okay, if you need validation of your reincarnation, if you're an old enough soul, and you ask for that, you've got to be an old enough soul because you wouldn't be curious about it. So you can ask for these things in your search for, this one calls it the search for God, or the search for soul and God and whatever. So we wanted to share that. So your soul has this pathway in these guides of soul where it can relay experiences from your higher self because of being a guide of soul. That is actually the whole reason the guide of soul system was developed. Its primary reason was to create a different level for your soul to be able to take your higher self's experiences on earth and bring them through in a loop through the death bardo, bringing them through a loop into the guide of soul, through the guide of soul system, into this person, because she'd been a guide of soul through many, many, many incarnations. And that's what that is. Okay, so that's why the Creator brought this in. And she's like, well, weren't we going to explain? No, we did that before. Get out of the way. Okay, so she likes to let you know when she's interfered with the channeling and the process, because she starts to think or feel or sort of goes off of her little spot there in our co-sharing of information. That's what we're doing. We're sharing information. And it's up to you to take this information and determine if it works for you. And as she says, this is what I know today. Tomorrow might be different. And I do not know it all. But these are my experiences, and this is what I've had happen. And I know I healed my pain through the divinity that I am and through the connection I have to Source. And Source healed me. And she knows that. So she's here with that. She does have that true validation. She healed all of her pain. You meditate, the pain comes to the surface. You got to clear out those lower 3 chakras. And she was able to do that with the tools that she uses and shows you. Okay, because that was her path. Some of you might need different tools. But if you're attracted to this work, then that's the tool for you. Okay, so we're going to end this series, and we're not going to tell you what's happening in the next one. We're going to end this episode of this series. We're not going to tell you what's happening in the next one because we want it to be a total surprise for both her and you. Peace be with you. You are dearly loved. Expect benevolence in all you do, and we bid you adieu. And this is Dr. Wendy Rowley back. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe. Share this with friends. And there's a big healing event for women coming up in June, and we're either going to do it online, June 2026, or we're going to do it in a real-time space. It's undecided at this time, but either way, it's going forward. I now officially know. All right, and there's more about that. It's called the Women's Great Global Healing Party. I'm just doing my shout-out. Okay, see ya.